Today, we'll be going over every option in Kindle Comic Converter. Alright, so first off, let's be simple. I personally only use these three options: right to left, spread splitter, and no rotate. I only use these three options. I don't use any of the rest, so you don't need to be too complicated or think too hard. I just use these three most of the time. And this is how you use it. So, I've just set up a quick thing. I have a zip, I have an image of JPEGs, and I have a PDF. And this is how you use KCC. You just drag the files you want to convert into the KCC window, hit convert, and then you just wait a little bit for the conversion to complete. It's usually really fast if you have a fast CPU. And then once the conversion is done, you just highlight the MOBI files or whatever format you wanted, and then you just drag them into the documents folder on your Kindle directly via USB. No need for any other programs. You just drop them on via USB. That's all you need to do. That simple. And yeah. And for anyone new here, let's just go over quickly what Kindle Comic Converter, or KCC, what it is. It optimizes black and white or color comics and manga for e-ink e-readers like Kindle, Kobo, Remarkable, and more. Pages display in full screen without margins with proper fixed layout support. Supported input formats include JPEG and PNG files, and folders, archives, or PDFs. Supported output formats include MOBI/AZW3, EPUB, KPUB, CBZ, and PDF. And it runs on Windows, macOS, and Linux. Humble Bundle has the highest quality source files. You get print quality DRM-free PDFs at 12,000 resolution. It's $18 for 60 plus volumes. It's an incredible value, but you just need to make sure you grab them while they're available. And I'll put a Humble Bundle referral link in the description, and they're also available in the KCC app directly. And the biggest reason people like KCC is you can get huge file size reductions. For example, this 300 megabyte Humble Bundle PDF that I got, compressed down to 100 megabytes using these KCC settings. This is mostly due to 4-bit PNG stuff if you're technically minded. And this can also improve battery life, page turn speed, and general performance, because e-readers don't have a lot of CPU or storage. Yeah. And the other big feature we have is black level correction. Kindle e-ink is lower contrast than normal screen, so what looks pretty black on a normal screen looks really faded on an e-ink screen. So KCC fixes the black levels and makes sure everything that's pure black. And I'll have a longer video in the description. But yeah, let's get back to explaining all the options. We'll be going through them one by one, so get ready, that's going to be a while. Alright, first off, we've got the profile list. It's just a big list of all Kindles and Kobos and Remarkables, and there's also another profile where you can input a custom resolution. Kindles are labeled by generation. The first Kindle Paperwhite was the Paperwhite 5th gen, so make sure you select the Paperwhite 5 profile there at the bottom for that kind of Paperwhite. Then we can go through the output format list. MOBI/AZW3 is a dual file type. It's .mobi, but it's also .azw3, and you use that for Kindle USB transfer. EPUB will output KPUB for Kobos. CBZ is great for co-reader, and PDF is great for Remarkable, and there's some other formats too for other special use cases. And then let's look into the check marks. We got right to left. All this does is enable right to left reading. It affects the page turn direction, so you have to click on the left side of your Kindle to turn a page, or you swipe in the appropriate direction. And it also changes whether the left or right half of a pre-joined spread is shown first. So you see here we have a pre-joined spread. Since this is manga, you want to see the right side of it first when you're going through the pages. And yeah. The Webtoon mode box. This cuts up vertical scrolling content into pages like a conventional comic. It also removes blank spaces. The algorithm isn't very advanced, so it could use a lot of work, but I've already fixed a lot of the bugs in the previous implementation. So it works pretty decent right now, but it could still be improved a lot. We've got the white-black margin option. KCC will add white or black margins. You see in these two photos. In the left photo, we added a white margin, but in the right photo, we added black margins. For CBZ and PDF, the color is added to the image itself, but for other formats, it just sets the reader's background color CSS. Yeah, so it's only actually modifies the image for CBZ and PDF. It's auto-detect most of the time, but you can select whether you want it to not do it with the other options. JPEG and PNG. PNG is the 4-bit, while for most formats, versus 8-bit versus 8-bit JPEG. So PNG can be a lot smaller than JPEG. 4-bit means you get 2 to the 4, which equals 16 colors, and e-ink screens only have 16 colors, so it's great for that. But only use PNG if your source is PNG or lossless, because mismatching formats can cause larger file sizes, because you don't want to losslessly compress JPEG compression artifacts. And yeah. Spread shift. This option, it changes whether the first page starts on the left or right of the landscape reader. So you see in this case, I started the first page on the left, even though it's a manga, and usually they start on the right. And yeah. File fusion. This combines multiple files, and you can name it with the default title box. But yeah, people really like this for combining chapters into volumes. Custom JPEG quality. Lower values are lower quality but are smaller file size. Values over 95 are not recommended by Python imaging library documentation. But maybe this can be useful if you want to get a smaller file size, but you have to use JPEG. And yeah. And the default is 85, except for some devices, which is 90. PDF legacy extract. This uses the PDF image extraction algorithm from KCC8 and earlier. If you've used MooTool extract or PDF images, it's pretty similar to that algorithm. But most people shouldn't need to use this unless you have a really weird PDF. Okay, spread splitter. This just changes the behavior of pre-join spread behavior. So yeah, you see we have a 2-page spread here. It's saved as a single image. You can either show the full page together at once, and then we can show 2 split spreads, or you can see the 2 split halves first, and then you can see the combined version. Or you can only see one, or you can only see the combined version, or you can only see the split version. It just depends on what you want to read. But we have lots of options for how you want to experience 2-page spreads. Stretch/upscale. Please note that we are not doing any AI upscaling. We're just doing a basic bicubic upscale, so upscaling does not really improve quality that much. Maybe it's better than the built-in Kindle upscaler, but it's really not doing much of anything. And the stretching option makes characters fatter, so you need to be careful about this. So here's the original image with no stretching, and here it is where it is stretched. All the characters got fatter, all the circles became ovals. So yeah, you just need to be aware that that is what stretching does. It changes the aspect ratio. Alright, chunk size. You may notice when you're converting large files that it's split at the 400 megabyte part. It'll be split into multiple files. You can increase this to 600 megabytes. This might slow down your reader, but it's there if you want to use the option. And don't forget, you can also try PNG for smaller files if you want to. Panel view. These options are mostly a legacy option for older Kindles. Modern Kindles enable four-corner zoom with a virtual panel option in the AA menu. So yeah, you usually don't need to check this unless you're doing something special or using a really old Kindle. The gamma correction option. The main thing is this makes grays darker. This is mostly useful when text is light gray and unreadable on e-ink. And yeah, this is all this really does is make midtones darker. It makes the grays darker, and that's all it does. I usually don't use this. Color mode. This uses a surprisingly complex algorithm to determine if an image is black and white using color spaces. You don't need to worry about this. It's just a little complicated because if you can see, if you actually zoom into text in a JPEG, you can see there's a small number of black and red pixels around the text. And yeah, this is usually not something you need to worry about unless you're using color e-ink. Cropping. This thing just crops out the white space around the image, and if you use the inner panel crop option, you can even crop white space between panels in the middle of an image. So yeah, these are pretty useful for reclaiming space on smaller screen devices. I personally don't use it, and apparently some Kindles can cause rendering issues if you use this, especially the Kindle Scribe. But yeah, this is just something nice to use. Disable processing. This is a dangerous option. This disables most of what KCC does. This is mostly just here for debugging, and will greatly increase conversion time and lower the quality if you're using it with Mobi. So yeah, don't use this unless you know exactly what you're doing or you're doing some debugging stuff. The rainbow eraser. This uses the discrete Fourier transform to remove rainbows on Kaleido 3-color e-ink with minimal blur. And I'll be including a full video description in the link. This is actually really advanced. This is a really cool algorithm. I'll have a separate video on this, but yeah, this you can remove the rainbows. Alright, extreme black point and auto contrast. So Basically, by default, KCC will map the darkest pixel to pure black, and you can see in this example, the original example, we can see that what looks like faded gray has become pure black on the Kindle. That's what Kindle does by default. But sometimes this fails if the image has any parts of it are pure black, like maybe it has gray artwork but black text. So this is when you would want to use the extreme black point option. However, don't be willy-nilly and just use the extreme black point all the time, because it will destroy any gradients. Yeah, you can see in this example it basically turned his pants pure black, so you need to be careful about extreme black point and only use it when absolutely necessary. And you can also enable it for images with small amounts of color, like a title and stuff. And then we got a default author option where it writes the author metadata. Editing Mobies can break things, so it's safer to set at the very beginning. The output folder, you have various ways of organizing your output files. You can either place them next to the source files, you can place them in a folder next to the source files, or you can put them in a custom directory of your choosing. And yeah, that's all of it. You've got a bunch of helpful links at the bottom of the KCC app, as well as a donate button on Ko-Fi. Feel free to support the project on Ko-Fi. Maybe you offer a commission, maybe you have a custom feature that you want to do. And I'm also looking for a job referral if you're interested in that. I'm looking for a job. I'll put a LinkedIn link in the description. And a quick summary: I have a bachelor's in computer science. I have 2+ years of experience as a software engineer. My most significant work accomplishment was lowering the company's AWS costs by $1 million a year, with no prior AWS experience, by identifying, fixing, and preventing future runaway S3 usage across 10 teams. I did have a gap in employment due to a physical injury, but that did give me time to give you tons of updates to KCC, like Kindle Scribe 2480 support, Windows code signing that verifies that what's on GitHub is what is in the exe and it's not a virus, native Apple Silicon support for 2x speed boosts, and tons of squash bugs in the legacy KCC codebase from 2012. Remember, I only started working on this in 2023. And other cool things maybe you're interested in: I added Xbox controller support to older macOS games with this GitHub repo. I have a method of converting Google Docs EPUBs for Kindle and Apple books, so the formatting looks beautiful, as well as adding supporting field set text box CSS on Kindle KFX, so you can see that little bit of text box formatting. Maybe you're reading novels where they add text boxes. And last of all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.